Welcome to Outdoorsy, the podcast that is redefining the word itself and reclaiming it for everyone. I'm your host, Madeline. Today, I have a very special bonus episode for you all. And if you're watching the video episode, you're going to see my original plan for this episode. I was going to put on this little Santa hat, which you'll be able to see in the video episode. I have to wear headphones while I'm recording the podcast, these big old headphones on my head. And so I was like, oh, in my mind, I can just put the Santa hat on over the headphones, and that will look totally normal. If you're watching the video episode, you will see this does not look normal at all. So I'm going to take this off because this looks absolutely crazy. Anyways, proceed with the bonus episode in a more regular way now. I am going to be releasing this bonus episode in 2 parts. Everybody who is listening to this right now is listening to it for free, and you are going to get the shortened, condensed holiday gift guide that I have compiled that is specifically focused on gifts for the outdoorsy bestie in your life that is also a book person. So a reader, a book talk gal, just a book baddie. If you have someone in your life that likes the outdoors and likes books, this is a little holiday gift guide for you. The second part of this bonus episode is going to be available to my Patreon subscribers only, and I'm going to be going through all of my favorite outdoorsy gifting items. So for anybody in your life who is outdoorsy, or if you are looking for things to add to your holiday list to send to other people, I have a ton of really, really good gift ideas that range a whole span of different budgets, different things. I've worked really hard on this and I'm really excited to share it with you all. So if you want to get access to that, you do have to become a Patreon subscriber, but also with that, you get access to so much other stuff. You get access to the Discord server community, which is like the biggest benefit in my opinion, because you get to have access to us just yapping. There's a lot of good conversations going on in there about different gear recommendations. So if you are a newbie trying to like figure out what kind of gear you need to buy or want recommendations from real people and not just influencers, that's a really good place to go. But most of the time it's just us just like yapping and sharing pictures from our adventures, and mostly it's dog pictures if I'm being totally honest. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you get access to that Discord, you get access to all the bonus episodes I have, including this longer gift guide. But for right now, all of you all are listening for free. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you as well. If you do want to become a subscriber, you can just go to patreon.com/outdoorsy. But enough with the housekeeping. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this particular episode, which is all of my book recommendations for the outdoorsy person in your life. Or if you are an outdoorsy person and you also like books, this is a great list to send to the loved ones in your life if they are looking for something to get you. I am wearing my Twilight shirt in honor of this. I also brought, for show and tell, if you're watching the video episode, which you can do so on YouTube. If you're watching the video episode, I want to show you my copy of Twilight from my childhood. It is so ratty. The cover is literally falling off. This book series is so problematic, but we're not gonna get into that. We're just going to reminisce on the incredible just catastrophe that these books are, and the movies in particular. It's an annual tradition. You gotta rewatch them. There's something else. I'm a ratty at heart. If you know, you know. Anyways, if you're not watching the video episode, I am wearing a shirt that has a picture of Robert Pattinson on it, and he's all glittery and sparkly, but it's not him as Edward in Twilight. It's him in that meme of him standing in the kitchen. If you know, you know. Again, this is like very niche and specific for people who are like deep into the Twilight meme lore. But hopefully those of you listening that get it appreciate it, and for everybody else, I am so sorry. But let's get into the book recommendations. Twilight is not one of them. Don't worry. So my first gift recommendation for the outdoorsy person in your life that also enjoys books is just a cool box set of The Lord of the Rings. I honestly don't remember where I got this book set. I think it was just from a thrift store. But it just is really cool. It sits on my shelf. It looks really beautiful. And having a complete set that is matching is just a nice thing. I know a lot of people pick up series like as they go, and sometimes the books don't all match. So it's a nice gift to get somebody like a pretty packaged, complete set of a series. So highly recommend Lord of the Rings series for the outdoorsy person in your life. Now, this next recommendation is not necessarily like specific to only outdoorsy people, but I think most of us who are outdoorsy spend a lot of time in our cars driving places. And if you are anything like me, going to the mechanic, thinking about any car problems you might encounter causes a lot of anxiety. And you just don't want to think about those things because it can be very intimidating. Get them this book. This book is called The Mechanic Shop Femme's Guide to Car Ownership. This is by Chaya Milchtein. Chaya, I'm so sorry if I just butchered your last name. I'm terrible about pronunciations, but it's by Chaya, and they break down like everything about your car that you could possibly need in like the most approachable and uncomplicated way possible. I've read through this whole thing myself, and I just keep it in my car. I think it's so useful. So highly, highly recommend if you are someone who is not a cisgendered heterosexual man. Actually, this is for the boys too. It's for the guys too. This is for everybody, okay? This is your best friend. If car ownership, car stuff, car troubles intimidate you, get this book. Now, everybody knows that camping ethically and sustainably is something that is incredibly important to me, and I think it's important to most of you all. So I actually was gifted this incredible book. So this is called The Green Camping Book, How to Camp Sustainably, Ethically, and Responsibly by Martin Dorey. And if you are watching the video episode, you can see the cover right here, but this is a hefty book. And I was gifted this, thank you so much, but I'm not being paid for this review or this recommendation, but it has so much helpful stuff in here about like different type of gear to get and why, like what does polar fleece mean, and stuff like that. And then it also has just how to kind of like travel and get around and navigate sustainably. It also has recipes, like camping recipes and things like that. It's just fantastic. So if you're ever wondering where to start in terms of your camping journey and wanting to do it more sustainably, more ethically, this is going to tell you like, what are you taking? What are you staying in? How are you getting there? What do you need to have on your body? What are you wearing? How are you accessorizing? What are you eating? All of those things can just kind of be like answered in this book. So highly recommend. It's a really good gift. Again, this could be one that you have out on a coffee table or something like that. It's just pretty. It's big. It has a lot of great pictures and stuff in it. If you're watching the video episode, you can see that. I feel very fortunate that I was gifted this. If you have someone who is outdoorsy in your life, the number one book recommendation I have for you is actually a twofer. So the first part of it is this book. This book is called Braiding, Sweetgrass. It is by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it is one of the most transformative pieces of literature I think I have ever had the privilege of reading, period. And I've read a lot of books. This book changed how I perceive and view my relationship to nature and nature's relationship to humanity. It is beautifully written. It is extremely interesting and educational. And I actually would highly recommend the audiobook. Although if you are gifting this, it's a lot easier to like gift the physical book, obviously, but the audiobook is tremendous. I have seen a lot of people describe this book as a balm for the soul, and I cannot agree more. So again, that is Braiding Sweetgrass. The reason why I said this is a twofer is because the second book by this author, The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, just came out. So this is called The Serviceberry, and this is a much smaller book, but it is all about the reciprocal nature of nature and us. And I think that that's just beautiful. I actually haven't had a chance to read this yet. I just received this. I did get this as a gift from the publisher, which I'm so thankful for. So I need to take the time to go through and read this myself, but I'm extremely excited. And I do think that if you have someone who is a nature lover, an outdoorsy lover, getting them this book, The Serviceberry and Braiding Sweetgrass, is such a lovely, thoughtful gift, because if someone that you know loves the outdoors, they are going to want to appreciate and understand how connected we are to nature and how nature operates, especially from an Indigenous perspective. I just think it's so important for us to understand and to learn from. So definitely recommend these two books. And then also Wild by Cheryl Strayed. I know this is such a basic recommendation and it probably is on like every outdoorsy person's book list, but I actually really enjoyed this. And this, I also did listen to the audiobook of this that was very compelling and I thought narrated extremely well. But the book has a lot more depth, I think, than the movie. No shade to Reese Witherspoon. She's amazing. But I thought the novel itself was just very interesting to read. Yeah, it's very surprising. It's very good. So I don't think it would be a bookish list for outdoorsy people if I didn't include Wild on there. So to recap, we have Twilight. No, I'm just kidding. To recap, we have a cool box set of Lord of the Rings. Everybody loves Lord of the Rings. We're all little hobbits here. Definitely think that this would go over so well with your bookish bestie who also loves the outdoors. So a box set of the Lord of the Rings. You have the Mechanic Shop Femme's Guide to Car Ownership, the Green Camping Book, Braiding, Sweetgrass, the Serviceberry, and Wild. Those are all the books I would recommend for your bookish bestie who also loves the outdoors, your outdoorsy bestie who also loves reading, or for yourself to send to your friends and your family for things that you want. I, again, am going to talk about a lot of other things that I love that I would love to receive as gifts. I have given as gifts that are on all different price ranges and budget options for you all in a second part of this bonus episode. So if you do want to have access to that, I highly recommend you subscribe to the Patreon. Again, that is patreon.com/outdoorsy. But until next time, thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to rate this 5 stars if you are listening. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you all have a lovely, lovely holiday season. But until next time, I hope you get out there in whatever way feels good to you.